Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Surprise Thursday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the McFarlane Toys Spawn, the Violator, Bloody Edition from Gamestop. Thank you for watching this video, or any of my other videos that you may have run across, which I hope is all of them. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, or just help the channel out further, or both. That's even more awesome. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. And with all that said, let's get into it. And as we normally do here on Digital Caveman Presents, let's start by at least trying to take a look at the packaging. It's pretty big. There's my little hand, and as you can see, it's a pretty big dude. On the top, it's dusty where it sat on the shelf at GameStop for a long time. Nice window there to give you kind of a top view. You can't really see in there much. Why the lights are shining, but it's mainly to let light in onto the figure, I think. Then on the front, nice huge window showcasing the bloody figure, and he does come with one accessory, which is a stand. So there's that. Spawn the Violator, and as you can see, it's the Violator is bloody because it's the bloody Violator. 14 and up, not a toy. If this is not a toy, I'm gonna be pissed off, Todd. On the bottom, small print, fine print, and maybe some legalese print. This number, barcode, made in China up here, that stuff that I don't know what it is. Okay. Then on this side, Spawn, and nice artwork of the Violator there. And this one is much more beefy than I remember the Violator to be. I haven't read Spawn in a long time, but this was just such a cool looking figure. I couldn't pass it up, especially since I caught it on sale. McFarlane Toys with the squishy Spawn, and a product shot of Violator. And on the back, Spawn, 22 moving parts. Only 22, this guy's so big. The Violator. And then there's nice product shot of the prototype, at least. And down here, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, McFarlane Toys, or McFarlane.com, McFarlane Toys, Squishy Spawn Place, blah 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 blah, and hashtag McFarlane Toys. Although you can't see that real good because it's, yeah. But that, my friends, completes a look at this really big packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And when I say accessories, I mean this very small standard size Spawn stand. And this is how standard sized it is, guys. Here's a DC Multiverse stand. They are same exact stand. So this is the stand for this guy. I mean, there it is right up next to him. You can see how small it actually is compared to the figure. And that does it for the accessories. Let's take a look at the figure if I can get him up in here. This, of course, is the bloody variant that is a GameStop exclusive. And he retails for right around 50 bucks as of the time of this filming. And as you can see, the blood splattered here and on his hands and legs. Not a lot of splatter on the torso. It's mostly on the hands and arms and head. And right here on the legs. And very nice, you know, up here on the legs too. Very nice blood deco. And It's glossy paint, so I guess it's supposed to still be fresh. So, but then nothing on the back, so he only gets the front all bloody. So I thought there was some here on the back of the legs, but it's not. No blood back here. On the back of the hands, maybe. The back of the arms a little bit. Maybe a little bit on the back of the legs. But he's all nice and spiky. And he's got this big horn up here and these horns. And there's those evil looking eyes. This big funky jaw. I mean, this is a nasty looking dude. And he's kind of heavy too. He's solid up here at the top. I mean, this is a heavy dude. Well, let's take a look at his articulation. As far as the head goes, if you grab it by the jaw, you can get a little bit of head turn. But surprisingly, for a demonic character, he will not do the full exorcist. So, and then to watch out for these teeth, because they are sharp. I mean, there's sharp points all over. I guess I can see the point of why they say not a toy on the packaging now. So his head can move up and down just a little bit, and side to side just a little bit. I guess just enough that Todd can call it a moving part. Well, when you close his jaw up, his head can go down a little bit more than that, but still no left and right, no full exorcist for sure. And of course the jaw here, it opens and closes. And as for the arms, they can do a full 360-degree rotation. They will go up approximately 90 degrees. And at the elbow, it's a single hinge on a pin. So you get... Dang. It's like handling a Rancor. You get about that much bend, which is not quite 90 degrees. Maybe about 80 degrees. I don't know. But then because of that pin, it does have a swivel in there. So it will swivel. And if you fight with it a little bit, it will go all the way around. And it's the same on both arms. At the wrist, it will rotate a full 360 degrees. And it's on a side to side or in and out hinge, whatever you want to call it. But he can swipe you this way too if he wants to. Then there's actually in the torso, there's two cuts. There's this cut here in the torso, and then there's also one at the waist. The one in the torso is mainly for crunch, and he can crunch forward about that far. He doesn't really crunch back at all. This crotch piece here is like a rubber overlay. It's a thicker than some of the other McFarlane toys overlays, but he gets a little hula motion there at that waist, and you do have to fight with it a little bit because of the rubber overlay, but it will do a full 360 degrees of rotation. Now, as far as the legs go, let's see how much of the splits he gives us. And not bad. Not great, not bad. He really would have done, well, I don't know, because of the weight of the top. I was going to say he needed a pull-down hinge there in the hips, but because of the weight of the top, it probably wouldn't have worked out too well. As far as kicking forward, he can kick forward about that far, back about that far. Single hinge knee with the pin going down into the leg, same as the knee, so it will give you that much range of motion. And again, it's on that pin, so it will give you some swivel in there, and I'm sure if you adjust it a little bit, it will do a full 360 degrees of rotation. Now there's a hinge here and a hinge at the, I guess, the upper ankle and the lower ankle maybe. So the upper ankle, again, it's a single hinge, and it is also on that pin type hinge, so it will also give swivel there as well. And dang it, it'll give you that much range of motion, which is pretty darn good. And then as far as the lower ankle, it will go down that far, it'll go up that far, and it does have a pin for rocker. So this guy's big, and he does have quite a bit of articulation. It's not you know, it says on the box 22 moving parts. I believe that. I figured this big though, I would have thought maybe he had a few more moving parts, but you know, hey, that's just me. I'm no Todd McFarlane. I'm just some sappy toy reviewer guy. And as far as the stand goes, he does have, you see the peg holes in the bottom of his feet, so he can use the stand. I don't know how well it's actually going to hold up for anything, but it does fit. It's under his foot. He's standing on it. Other than that, I don't know what else to do with it. And that, my friends, completes a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, the comparisons. And let's start things off with a McFarlane Toys comparison. I don't have any other Spawn figures other than Violator here, but here is Superman from the Dark Knight Returns Build a Horse wave. As you can see, Violator still, even with Superman being a 7-inch scale figure, still quite large. And while we're comparing McFarlane figures, let's pop this guy in because he's rather large himself, and it is a horse from that same Dark Knight Returns wave, the Build-A-Figure. And another 7-inch line comparison. Here is the Masters of the Universe Masterverse Revelation He-Man. And of course, because I've done He-Man, let's go ahead and put Battle Cat in there for a comparison too. And as you can see, this Battle Cat is huge. Violator could even ride him, he's so big. His legs might dangle a bit, but still, Battle Cat is, this is a big ass Battle Cat. And this is one of my favorite figures out of the Masterverse line, is Battle Cat. And let's see how he compares up with some other lines too, some 6-inch scale stuff. Here's the old Toy Biz Build-A-Figure Sentinel. And as you can see, he's quite a bit larger than Violator. Let's see if I can fit them all in the shot. Y'all didn't want to see all that. Well, there's most of it anyway. But you can still see, if you have this old Toy Biz Sentinel figure, you can see how much larger, how big this Violator figure really is. Let's get him out of the way. And for what I would call a regular sized Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure, here is Zenmu. So as you can see, Violator is still, and he's a hefty piece of plastic, folks. And for the more, I guess you could say, he might be a smaller Build-A-Figure size, but the larger deluxe figures is Thanos from the Infinity Gauntlet, or at least that era of the comics. And then, just for some regular size comparisons, here we have, making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from the Marvel Legends series. From Star Wars The Black Series, we have the Archive Edition 501st Clone Trooper. See, he could be a Star Wars monster. From the G.I. Joe Classified series, we have the Hasbro Pulse Regal variant Cobra Commander. You know, he could be a mutant that Destro made. And just for the fun of things, here is Earthrise, Walmart exclusive Earthrise Netflix Leader Class Optimus Prime. So for you Transformers guys who don't usually collect this kind of stuff, there's a size comparison that you might know. I almost pulled out Commander Class Jetfire out of the display for this review, but I decided not to. But that, my friends, completes a look at comparisons of this very big figure. For final thoughts on the McFarlane Toys Spawn the Violator Bloody version, GameStop exclusive, this is one big ugly piece of plastic, and I mean that in the best, most positive way, because he's supposed to be ugly. And he is big, and I know this is a more modern take on the character. I remember, when Violator first came out in Spawn and the toy first came out, the toy was basically a really skinny, bendy figure. He was rubber on the outside with the wire on the inside, and he had a little gimmick where you move this piece and it would make his jaw open and close. And not that was a bad figure, but it wouldn't stand up at all. I mean, I guess if you put it on all fours, you could say it was kind of standing up, but and I had that thing. I tried to make him stand up. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I'm not gonna say I couldn't. I didn't want to hunt for it and dig it out. I just, there's so much difference between that figure and this figure that I didn't feel like it would really matter to do that comparison, because there really is no comparison between that first Violator figure and this one. And I'm glad they they muscled him up and made him a lot bigger than he used to be. And I haven't read Spawn in years, unfortunately. But I really like this figure. He caught my eye at GameStop. I looked at him for a month and a half probably before I decided to finally bite the bullet when he was on sale. So that's what I did. And I don't intend to buy a lot of Spawn figures. I thought about getting the clown version of the Violator, the bloody version to kind of go with this one. But I never much cared for that myself. It was fun when John Leguizamo was the clown in the Spawn movie, but that was about it for me. What I really got this guy for was to use with other lines, like he's a demon that Skeletor summons in He-Man, and the good guys get to fight him, or climbs out of a hell pit and Superman has to battle him, or something Doctor Strange has to destroy. That's really what I got this guy for. He's just a cool looking monster with really sharp spikes and teeth. So there is a potential for injury here when you handle this figure. I made fun when I started the video. I made fun of it, that the package said this is not a toy. Well, this is definitely not a child's toy, because there is potential to injure oneself on those teeth and spikes and stuff. So not that I'm saying you have to get leather gloves to handle it or anything, but just be aware of that he is quite sharp in some areas. And I want to sit here and talk about this guy longer because he's such a fabulous looking figure with the bloody deco and but I'm at a loss. I don't know what else to say about this big bastard. That does it for the review then, I guess. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews, or just to help the channel out further. That's cool too. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.